Hello everyone, DreamSword here, and this here's a follow-up to my previous video on CrossWorlds you might have seen, which was me getting all S-rank time trials in Sonic Speed with an Excel car. Yeah, still got them all, except for Wily Castle. Gonna do that when the other DLC courses come out. And so you might think, oh, well, you finally got the Supersonic Speed ones, right? Well, mostly. I got most of them. So here's the thing. At the time of this recording, there is a new big update patch on the horizon. And I don't think I'm going to have the spare time to get these final ones before it hits. And if you don't know, big update patches tend to break ghost data. Heck, it's broken most of the ghost data I had for Sonic Speed, like this past update we had. So I figured I might as well just record all these now. And then I will save all the rest of the S ranks for a separate video. That said, though, I don't know, man. Some of these, like, I think that they're definitely possible, even if they're super difficult, like, for example, Roulette Road. But other ones, I'm starting to legit think they might actually not be doable on an Excel car, like, for example, Bikini Bottom. But, yeah, I'll keep trying, and if you guys have any strats for S-ranking any of the ones I don't have yet in Excel cars, please, by all means. So, that being said, a few things before we start. This build here, you're going to see it a lot in this, because it's actually surprisingly good in Supersonic Speed, because of the difference of how speed itself scales between these two modes, right? And now, if you're someone who can't or doesn't want to use online gadgets, like gadgets you get via having online, like Boost Character Kit, for example, right? You can get the same effect out of this if instead of equipping it, you equip Air Trick Expert and Air Trick Bounty. The only difference would be if you're playing a boost character, a la Miku or Whisper, you get like a minor buff. That's it. That's the only difference there'd be. So, with that, is that all? Well, no. Another tip, if you want to make your life a little bit easier, because it turns out the speed stat's a lot better in this, that being Supersonic Speed, than Sonic Speed, because, again, how speed scales. Stacking the heck out of your speed stat, actually probably a good call. So, like, if you want to go with, like, any speed character of choice, right? And then just either the Long Stinger or the Radical Force, because they both have the highest speed stat for Excel cars. Completely valid, and will make your life a lot easier. That said, I wanted to make a point to use my typical combo, regardless, just to see if it was possible. But again, I might have to just go with a setup like this later on. Bite the bullet in sacrifice fashion for stats, but who knows. Again, I'm going to keep testing, and we'll see when we get there. So, yeah, with that out of the way, let me just slap my usual car on, and we'll go through this replay data. I'm going to be skipping the A rank ones, but I'll do my best to explain as we go. So, starting off here with E Stadium. So E Stadium, it plays pretty much the same as you would in Sonic Speed. The only difference I made here was swapping out level 2 Quick Charge for Mini Dash Panel Bounty, because in Supersonic Speed your boost gauge fills faster than in Sonic Speed, like naturally, because how much faster you're going. So yeah, same strats as before. There you want to at least get 75 rings. You can get between 75 and 80 thanks to Off-Road Bounty. And now that you've got max rings right at the start, it's pretty much the same routing as Sonic Speed. So we're going off to the right path here. Again, I don't know why it's faster, but it is. And now you just kind of want to cut your inner corners here. That said, we are skipping all the shortcuts for lap 1. We're just kind of doing a straightforward lap. Because again, not only is that very first shortcut the best one to get rings, but it's also the biggest cut in the track. So saving boost specifically for it, it's a big help. See, another reason I took Mini Phantom Bounty outside of just getting more rings slightly faster, also to proc the ring game boosts, because it does do that. So I figured, hey, it'll help me go a little bit quicker. And it does, but it's not like a huge boost. So if you want to swap it out with something else, I mean, that's valid. Anyway, we're now going to cut this corner, because it's the next best thing for shortcuts. Alright, so now lap 3. You definitely want to get the Royal Wisp here. And you want to drift after getting all 3 panels so that we can go across this grass. And now you just gotta be careful to take the new warp ring that opened up. Obviously, cut the corner closer there, if you can. Carefully get up here, and then it's just a straight shot to the finish, pretty much. So yeah, curve the bend, and take one last cut. And you should be golden.
No time like the present.
Alright, now we're on Rainbow Garden, where spamming your level 2 drift is going to be essential here, which is why I have the drift charge kit and level 2 quick charge with Mini Panel Bounty, just to squeeze out some more rings. Yeah, this track is very drift heavy, so as many level 2s or 3s as you can get, the better. And that's kind of the best advice I can give you, really, because, like, essentially the whole idea is if you're not going max drift at pretty much all times, you're probably not going to make the time, unfortunately. Rainbow Garden's a lot stricter on supersonic speed when compared to sonic speed, to my surprise. Because remember, on sonic speed, it's surprisingly chill. Anyway, if you don't remember, you can boost right there to get a much cleaner cut across the grass there. And of course, cutting right here is also very good. And you want to keep snaking and boosting as much as possible. Again, I'm somebody who, I really don't like the snake. I have nothing against the people who do. I recognize it as a legit playstyle. It's just really not for me. I only do it if I absolutely have to for like time trials and such. But yeah, here you are. Like, this track basically forces you to snake, whether you like it or not. And on a Excel car, which has the lowest boost stat in the game, yeah, that's not great. But yeah, flower bed, curve around here, keep our charge until we're lined up, and then just level 3 across. And then, you know, get another boost. And right here, very good cut. I don't know if it's the best shortcut in the track, and also you want the Royal Wisp here on Lincoln Sonic Speed. But hey, it works. So. And plus, too, it gets us in a good position to drop down when switching modes. Saves a little bit of time. So now we're just going to save this Royal Wisp here for that final cut. Nearly hit the wall there. Do hit it there, but whatever. We get our momentum back pretty much immediately, and we make it. Now, granted, yeah, my time would have been a little bit better if I had not hit the corner there at the very end, but it's fine. All right, Water Palace. So this is where you're gonna finally start seeing the trick build in action. And again, get used to it, because it's very effective for a lot of these tracks. For Sonic Speed, I use Drift Charge, and you might be able to do it with that. But I found here that getting as much benefit off those tricks as possible, very nice. And you definitely want to be cutting these corners as close as you possibly can. Because that is something that this track tests you on. And I'll go into more detail when we get to lap 2, because it involves a little trick I discovered while practicing this course over and over again. Yeah, so now that we're in the water, you essentially just want to spam level 2 boost. Hop over the ramp so that way you don't lose time. And take as tight a bend around that corner as you possibly can, because that can seriously kill your time. And for all your boost wisps, you're just going to be using it across the grass there. It's pretty much the best shortcut you can take. So, something I found out here, it's a lot quicker to not only ignore the ring lines and take, you know, the tight corners, but also to take these ramps so that way you can take a much tighter turn at that corner there. And it also gives you a slight boost thanks to your air tricks. You know, normally I would have thought that, you know, just staying as inclined as possible would have been a better boost, but no, surprisingly, going wide to go narrow works out, and this isn't the only track where that's the case, so keep that in mind. And with that, we pretty much explained all the aspects of Water Palace. Lap 3 is really not much different from laps 1 and 2, even with the new path that opens up. But yeah, take these dash panels. I missed one, but it's fine. And again, trick across that little ramp there, so that way you can take the tight turn. Just keep on the inner walls as best as you can, while maintaining your air tricks. Hit these dash panels. And now here, you might be able to make the time by going for the King Wisp. I don't know, but I didn't want to risk it, so I just stayed on the inner corner and kept spamming my boosts, as I did for laps 1 and 2. Because I was making good time, I did not want to risk screwing things up. Make sure you hit as many of these gates as you possibly can, and you should be able to make it.
No time like the present.
Alright, so now we're going to skip Metal Harbor for now, unfortunately. I haven't been able to get that one down yet. I have been practicing it, though. And we're going to go on to Sand Road. Sand Road is unique in that it is the only time in which we use the maximum traction gadget. And here's the thing. Some of you who are more familiar with Excel cars might be thinking, now Dream Sword, innately Excel cars have mini traction. So why do you need maximum traction? And the answer for that is that mini traction doesn't give you that much of a boost, whereas maximum traction will allow you to take much tighter turns, which makes this course much easier in my experience. Now, it is possible, I think, for if instead of maximum traction, if you want to run mini ring gate boost, you can probably still get the S rank. I just found maximum traction to be a much easier option in terms of just handling and steering. And by the way, you do not want to take these boost gates; they are a trap. I found that out the hard way during my practice as well. The airtime really kills your speed. So yeah, you definitely want to stay on the ground at all times during this. But yeah, if you didn't notice, this cut right here, very big boost, and also gives a ton of rings for the off-road bounty. Doing the drop down here to save a little bit of time. And I do think that the final shortcut is a trap. I think that big one at the start and then this one that we're coming up to right now, I think they're the biggest time savers for sure. I haven't done thorough testing to know if that's true or not, but it's what worked for me here, so I'm sticking with it. And of course, doing some drifts here to get level 3s across the final stretch. And now we have no more wisps, so we just kind of have to drive manual for a little bit until we reach the new water section that opened up. And here we go. So this is the tricky part. So while maintaining your momentum, you're going to want to boost jump to get that wisp. And then you're going to want to stay on this inner wall as much as you possibly can. I don't know if staying on the inner wall or going for the boost gate is faster, but I just went for the boost gate out of habit. And now here you go, line yourself up with this King Wisp here. And now we take this last shortcut.
Let's go!
And with that, we should make the time.
Finish! No time like the present.
Color from All's not really complicated. It's pretty much the same deal as Sonic Speed, but with like one very minor difference that I learned while doing practice. But otherwise, if you've got the pathing down in Sonic Speed, you pretty much have it down for Supersonic Speed. So for those who don't already know, you're going to want to follow your ring lines here. And Drift Charge Kit's the name of the game in this. Because those level 2s and level 3s are what are going to give you the maximum amount of speed here when you're staying on mid-level. We do not go up or down unless we absolutely have to, which, for example, right here, we go up here to get this ring, and now we let go of our boost as soon as we land and go across that very short straightaway. Believe it or not, that makes a ton of difference. In Sonic Speed, you can afford to hold your charge and then drop down and let it go. Not so much in Supersonic Speed, because you lose too much time doing that, too much momentum. So you definitely want to let your level 2 boost fly as soon as you land on that little way there, even if you're only going to be on it for the smallest amount of time. And with that, yeah, it's just repeat. 1, 2, 3, pretty much. Stay on your inner corners, and drift up here to line yourself up with the dash ring. Fall on down. Make sure to grab your wisp where you can, and of course, boost across the shortcut here. And you should be golden, so long as you don't royally screw up, which I definitely have. So, like right there. Part of me wanted to say the race was over because I bumped the wall, but I was making real good time, so I said, screw it, I'll just race it out. And to my surprise, I was still able to salvage it. Don't ask me how, but hey, I will not complain. Alright, so thankfully we avoid any other major crashes, and we can just glide on over here, line ourselves up with the dash panels, and we're good.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, so now let's do a couple of CrossWorlds. This build, I believe, is slightly different from the Sonic Speed one. Let me check, actually. I'm curious. Yes, it is. So, the reason for this change, again, your boost gauge charge is a lot quicker in Supersonic Speed, just naturally. And you want to maximize your ring gain as much as possible. So yeah, dash panel full bounty, very much needed here. The biggest peculiarity of Skyroad is, at least for Excel cars, I don't know if it holds true for any others, but in order to get the S, you kind of have to utilize a shortcut that I don't even know if it's intentional on part of the devs or not. You'll see what I mean when we get there. But until then, you definitely want to make sure to center yourself on the boost gates, so that way you can get these 10 rings each time. You want to get 100 rings as soon as humanly possible, while also taking this shortcut. And I still don't know how to take it without bumping the wall. If anyone else can do it better, by all means, you're amazing. And now I found out something else too here. If you boost there and land on the edge of the balloon, you go a lot quicker. I still don't know if it's faster, but anyway, here's the shortcut. You want to drive off the edge and then trick back onto it. Believe it or not, that saves a ton of time, even if you do it suboptimally like I did there. Ideally, you want to be kind of like fully off it and then trick right back on. I'm not kidding when I say there was one lap where I saved a whole second just by doing that. But, yeah, as I was saying earlier, though, when it comes to the balloon, boosting early and then landing on the edge of it, you go flying a lot further, a lot faster. I don't know if it's quicker than just driving, but it certainly felt that way, so I stuck with it. Now here we go. Like, right there, I did the trick a little bit better. And, yeah, that, again, I don't know if the devs intended that as a thing in this course, but, it's the only way I could find to save enough time to do this on the Excel car. Otherwise, I would straight up avoid impossible. And also, that little shortcut there, way too risky to take. I would not recommend it. You lose, or at least me, you're handling so bad you lose way too much time trying to go down there, so just avoid it. And here we go, do the trick one more time. And we are home free.
No time like the present.
Alright, next up, Kraken Bay. Believe it or not, this one is not nearly as tough as you might think. It plays out basically the exact same as Sonic Speed. So, it's a weird feeling when I can honestly say Kraken Bay is not the hardest in a time trial set. Like, if you can do it on Sonic Speed, you can do it on Super Sonic Speed, no problem. Exact same setup, exact same gadgets, everything. There's really only one minor difference in the pathing, and it's because of how much faster you're just naturally going. And that has to do with the tentacles, which I will show you when we get up to them soon. But yeah, otherwise follow your ring lines for the most part, because the ring gain boosts will carry you through. Now here, go around the tip there. Now it's possible to outrun the tentacle. I've done it before during practice, but it's very inconsistent, so I would recommend just driving around it. You really don't lose that much time doing it, and as you can see, my go state is not way down. But hopefully it's still comprehensible to you. But outside of that bit with the tentacle, really, again, this is pretty much exactly the same as Sonic Speed, so if you've got that down, you've got Super Sonic Speed down, no problem. So yeah, just stick to the left paths, much faster, especially with your ring gain boosts. And even here at the split, you might think, oh, well, because of the different format, maybe right path's faster. No, left path is always faster. And you don't want to take the ramp there, that actually slows you down. And just be careful about your lining. And now that we have enough wisps, we can utilize the boost instead of having to drift charge spam, which is always a plus in my book.
Let's go!
But yeah, honestly, once you've got the rhythm of Kraken Bay down, I actually don't think it's that bad, and I do think it's actually kind of fun. I honestly, arguably, I think it might be more fun on Super Sonic Speed than Sonic Speed. Maybe that's just total cope with some of the stuff I had to go through in other tracks, though, as you'll see later on. Again, though, avoiding the ramps because they are, I don't know what launched me there, by the way, because they are slower. And now we just, once again, boost ourselves through this final stretch, and we are good to go.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, Mystic Jungle. Honestly, very easy, and I think this is the exact same setup as Sonic Speed, too. Just like with Kraken Bay, if you have the Sonic Speed version down, you've got the Super Sonic Speed version down for Mystic Jungle. While me personally, I don't really care to race on this course. I don't think it's horrid, it's just not really my favorite track. In terms of a time trial, it's pretty easy. You're chilling. It's really just all about following these ring lines and knowing where to go. And here, I believe this is the only difference I did between the two. I'd have to go back and look at my old data again, because I don't remember in the heat of the moment. But I do take the left path once just to grab the extra wisp, because the extra cut does make a bit of difference here on Super Sonic Speed. And I believe that's really the only difference. Otherwise, like, yeah, we're still cutting across here like usual, now that we've already gotten the singular wisp on the solar path. And otherwise, yeah, it's just boosting and boosting down the right path because it is slightly faster than the left. Apparently, there's a way to jump from one path to the other and it is faster, but I didn't bother learning it. And the fact that I could go without it proves that you can go without it too. So.
Let's go!
Alright, so now one final drift here onto the faster course. We're already at max ring, so we don't need the 100 ring. We can take the boost path. We gotta aim ourselves just right to get the King Wisp here. It's a little unwieldy because of Supersonic Speed, but hey, level 1 boost lets me readjust. And I did not want to risk the snake. Good thing I didn't. So, staying on the inner course, and we just take this one last cut, and we're good.
Finish! No time like the present.
Apotos. Same build as Sonic Speed, but the routing's surprisingly different, or at least for me it was surprisingly different. Maybe maybe you guys had a different experience. So, Apotos. I actually learned something when doing this, and it taught me a way to maybe optimize my Sonic Speed run a little bit better. So, do you guys remember how in the Sonic Speed one, I showed you that if you're at least level 2 boosted, you could land on the boost pad up on the stairs there? Turns out that while that is true, that is still ultimately slower than just avoiding the stairs entirely and just driving through. I did not know that until trying to get this supersonic speed thing down. And also, the way you do supersonic speed in Apotos is weird in that you only kind of follow the ring lines. You're very selective and choosy about it, let's just say.
This is great.
But yeah, here's a good spot to get 100. And then, just like in Sonic Speed, boost there, and then level 3 across. And I probably could have gotten even more time too if I had done a level 2 boost there, but it turns out it's not necessary. So, and now that we've gotten the solar path down, we can boost on through here, the much quicker path, get another wisp. And that's also the path we're going to be following on lap 3. And sticking to the right here is faster than going through the boost gate, for those who don't know. Pick up this wisp here. Try and cut across the grass once again. Because, again, it is quicker to do that. Rather than try and hug the outer wall. You will lose a ton of time. Final lap. We're going to cut across the grass with a tight cut here, once again. Pretty good time. You don't want to go for the Royal Wisp over there. You kill way too much time going to get it. All you need is this final regular boost wisp right here. Cut across the grass. Remember to exit early because otherwise you will run out of boost and lose all your speed. And now we can just... Now ideally if you can, you want to obviously hit more rings, but I couldn't. And thankfully didn't need to. So there you go.
No time like the present.
Alright, skipping now over to Crystal Mine. This is a fun one. And I believe it's the exact same build I used for Sonic Speed. Level 2 quick charge and all. Crystal Mine is one that it takes some getting used to, but once you're used to it, it's fun. Like, the big difficult shortcut in this one, I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, I've mastered it and I can nail it literally every single time now. I'm not, again, I am not any good at this game. But I can do it a lot more frequently now than I could before. And I do love going for it now in regular races. I think it's a pretty cool shortcut to pull off. That said, though, we do not go for it on lap 1. We just kind of drive through the course normally, picking up as many rings as we can. And making sure to get these 2 wisps. We don't even do the usual cut across the gravel there like we did in Sonic Speed. We're going to instead save all our wisps for laps 2 and 3. I don't know if it's a major time difference, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different for Supersonic Speed, and it worked out, so hey. Make sure to center yourself on all the gates. Now we're going to go for this shortcut. So line yourself up just right, land it, bam! That is so satisfying to land. I love doing that. And, you know, cutting across the gravel here, major time save as well. Alright, now we're just going to pick up the wisps that we left behind last time. Stay on the inner edge here, so that we can get proper angles and also pick everything up and get the best time. Now, I don't know if it's worth it to go for the King Wisp there since the crane was rising. I didn't risk it. If anyone knows, by all means, please tell me. But I also, you know, had the 2 wisps, so I didn't bother. But yeah, oh my god, I love landing that shortcut. It's so nice. And just like before, cut across the corner here, and we just hit as many of these rings as we can. And we're good.
No time like the present.
Welcome back, trick build. Alright, Ocean View is actually kind of tricky. This one took me a bit. And again, it's a deceptive thing because on Sonic Speed it's actually a very simple course. But here, the trick build really does wonders. So we're going to start off by getting the Wisp first thing. And the reason you want to get it before getting any rings is because on later laps, you're going way too fast, and you're more than likely going to hit the wall trying to get that Wisp. So it's better to get it now while you're slower. So this shortcut here, it's tough on supersonic speed. The best advice I can give you is to start drifting early and just get your angles right. It's going to take practice, but with enough luck, you can do it. So go up this ramp here, boost across. We want to get as many of these Wisps as we can. The turns here are very tight. Now, I kind of do an oopsie here because there's a much bigger shortcut you can take, which is across the first 2 patches of grass there. But it's not the biggest deal in the world. So, we're going to save our Wisps. Once again, drift early. So that way we can get across here. I wish you could angle yourself to get that Wisp right there. That would make this course way easier, but I don't think that's possible, unfortunately. So now we're going to go on a lower path because it's slightly faster. Using the Wisp to cut across the grass. Very clean. Although you can see my ghost data starting to glitch a bit. It would have been optimal here to do it, but I used it there to cut that corner instead. I guess I wanted to be safe, or maybe I just didn't think about it in the heat of the moment. I don't know. So yeah, now we're staying on the inner edge here. Oh man, my ghost data is leaking out. And yeah, by the way, landing that shortcut without crashing the wall, very difficult. It takes a lot of practice. But get the Royal Wisp here. And then we just do our one last cut, and we should be good. It's a tight thing, but it's not impossible.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, back to some CrossWorlds. Let's go with something very fun, Golden Temple. And very simple, straightforward build. Golden Temple is free. It's a very fun course, too. Like, this is still one of my favorite CrossWorlds. Not only in terms of time trial, but just in casually racing, too. Again, it's one of those ones where if you've got it in Sonic Speed, you've got it in Supersonic Speed, really. So, now I have seen some guides claim, oh, you should take the side path so that way you can get the extra Wisp and it gives you more time. It's really not needed. I don't know if it's ultimately faster or not, but you really can just go straight, honestly. You do not need the extra boost Wisp for this one, and honestly, I would assume it, like, wastes more time, but hey, who knows, maybe I'm tripping. So yeah, stay on the inner edge here as much as you can, although, you know, this ghost data shows that I'm not exactly the most proficient in doing that. And, yeah, the only real part of this course that's kind of tricky is the water section. Now, I believe I said it in the Sonic Speed run, but in case I didn't. When it comes to boosting during the water section, it is technically faster to do it while you're turning the bends. Like, especially if you're doing a good job at staying on the inner wall, right? Or inner corner, whatever term you prefer. But, me, I didn't want to risk it. Which is why I just boost during the last straightaway. And it seems to work out, so hey. But yeah, it turns out just staying inside the as close to the edge there as you possibly can, the inner edge. Actually faster than doing the boost jump. So, another way I could optimize my Sonic speed run, if I so chose in the future. So now we've got 2 Wisp-less, and I think here's where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna risk doing the thing I saw that other people do, where they boost around the bend. Or at least I think that's what I do. Let's see. So yeah, just maintain our momentum here. Yeah, I do. And yeah, my angle's not great, but honestly, I didn't do bad with it. Or at least in my opinion, I didn't do bad, you know. Anyway, Royal Wisp takes us home, and there we are.
No time like the present.
Oh, this. You might have noticed my very whack build right there. Allow me to explain once we get in there. Magma Planet is one of the most frustrating S ranks in this game. After this, I don't think I'll ever complain about Kraken Bay ever again, to be honest with you. Because the timing when you're on an Excel car is so tight, it's annoying. So, here's the deal. You really need to learn how to maximize your air drifting with this course, otherwise it's impossible. We have the 2 dash panel bounties because if not, we will not gain enough rings quick enough to reach max speed. Getting those 14 rings when you hit the center, incredibly important, believe it or not. And same with those 2 speed tuners, because otherwise you will not have enough speed to actually make the time. I said it in the intro, speed is arguably the most important stat in supersonic speed time trials. It's insane. And of course, you know, starting boost bounty, because again, getting those rings a lot quicker. This, you have no idea how many tries Magma Planet took me. It was insane. Just how badly I had to, like, this thing challenged me. Like, it also surprised me about how this course was laid out, because as you might have seen there, when first entering the plane area, I didn't go for the boost panels or the rings or anything. No, I just veered off and just skipped all of it. That's actually way faster. Like, you can get away with that in Sonic speed, not so much in Supersonic, unfortunately. So now you might be thinking, because of things like that, hey, what with the speed tuners and all, aren't you really just being like a wannabe speed car? And the answer is, unfortunately, yes.
Let's go!
Like, anything you could do on an Excel car in supersonic speed, you could do in a speed car way easier. But it is what it is. Now, the overall pathing, outside of that little difference I mentioned earlier, towards the beginning of the track, sure, same as Sonic speed, pretty much. But the timing and turning is so much tighter, it's insane.
No time like the present.
So with that out of the way, let's go with one that's at least a little bit more relaxing. Although, as you can see, the build is still kind of jank. Oh, here we go. So Hidden World, it's not as bad as Magma Planet, but the philosophies are kind of sort of similar. You're also going to be doing this a lot differently than you will in Sonic Speed. There is a shake-up in the pathing. So we have our 2 speed tuners again. We have that dash panel mini bounty. You definitely want to be maximizing your air drifts. I recommend doing level 2 boosts, because level 3 will kill too much time, I think, like charging for them. And we definitely need that dash panel bounty. Now here, in Sonic Speed, we went for those extra boost wisps. No, here, just ignore all that. Just go straight down the path. At least for lap 1. Trust me on this, okay? So, we're just going down as normal. We got our boost wisp. We're not going to use it yet. We primarily want to save these for the plane section so we don't have to kill our momentum air drifting. Now, you will still have to air drift a little bit, but the less you have to do it, the better. Saves a lot more time. So now that we're on lap 2, we actually do want to go for the Wisp over here because the dash gate has spawned over there. And I think because of the dash gate, the right path is slightly quicker than the left. I think. I could be wrong on that, but it's what worked for me during testing, so you know what? I'm just sticking with it. So now that we've got that Wisp, we once again boost across the plane section as well as we can. Be sure to pick up that King Wisp. Do not miss it. It is vital, because I believe it is the last Wisp we are getting. So once again, go across the ramp here. And we are not going to boost here like how I normally do when playing casually or during Sonic Speed. I don't know if it is factually faster, but it felt it. But we are going to actually save the Wisp for right here, because it'll carry us right to the end.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, so that's that section of CrossWorlds. Let's go back to main tracks now. A couple of fun ones coming up, thankfully. Market Street, surprisingly difficult. I still haven't gotten that one. That one's actually much harder than Sonic Speed. But these other two, pretty easy, pretty clean, pretty fun. Urban Canyon. This is another one where Sonic Speed, if you've got it, then you've got the Super Sonic Speed one, pretty much. I don't think there's really any major shakeup, so I'll kind of just reiterate what I'd already said during Sonic Speed, for those who might not know. You want to line yourself up to the left at the start here so you can maximize getting your ring count. Following the ring lines at first, important. I kind of screwed up there, but it's no big deal. We can get our max rings here, coming up. And you also want to grab that Wisp, if possible, as well as grab the Wisp over here. So, we've got that air trick bounty in Adept. For the few times we got forced to airtime, might as well squeeze as many rings out as we can. Biggest shortcut is right here, the grass at the end. It's the primary thing you'll be using the Wisp for, but not the only thing. So now here, instead of to the left, we're going to go to the right slightly so we can grab this Wisp. And because we have the spare Wisp to spare, cutting across this grass, also very good. So there's your two major cuts here until lap 3. Stay along the inner wall, so that way you can drift across, go a little bit faster. Now we're just going to fly for the gate because there's no Wisp for us to get this time. Grab that Wisp there. And we are locked and loaded for the rest of the course, I do believe. I might be misremembering, but cut across here. Now, once again, we're going to go to the left so we can hug the inner wall. Boost here, then go straight in here. Again, if you know how to snap drift, you can actually make these two shortcuts safely. I accidentally did not take it there. I guess I brain farted. But I still surprisingly made the time, so I didn't even realize I did that, to be honest with you. But it just goes to show even I could have made my time slightly better there. Interesting. I might go back and redo this one later on. But we've got our final King Wisp, and we just take the final shortcut, go through these rings, and we're good.
No time like the present.
Alright, Coral Town. Very slightly different build, but that's really only because I was just kind of testing something out. Whatever build you used for Sonic Speed, assuming you did Sonic Speeds first, it should work fine for Super Sonic Speed. Coral Town, we're basically doing the exact same thing as Sonic Speed, and more than the others that are copy-paste, I kind of made it a point to do it here because, again, I of course look up other guides for tips and tricks and ideas, right? Nobody's done Excel car specific ones, but like for other car types or like just general gadget use, you know, it's good to get some inspiration. Now, the reason I kind of pointedly wanted to stick to the same routes that I did for the Sonic Speed time trial, if possible, is because I saw a lot of claims saying that the only way to make the S rank here would be to do the famous coral cut, right? Fun fact, you don't have to. Like, will your time be a lot better? Yeah, absolutely. But it isn't strictly necessary of a thing to do the coral cut trick. So if you really don't feel like learning it, good news, you don't have to. So yeah, with that out of the way, you might have seen me do it twice there. If you don't have a sufficient amount of wisps on you, Blue Tunnel is the fastest route for all the different paths you can take at the beginning there. And also if you're not counting Coral Cut, obviously. However, we are about to have the sufficient amount of shortcuts, or rather wisps, I should say, to take the shortcuts. So now going to the far right path is actually much preferred because you can now cut across here. Assuming you take it properly, that's actually a pretty big time save. And then we can get this final King Wisp and take the big shortcut here at the end. Or at least boost across much faster rather than cut across, but, you know.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, so these three. Tougher than you might think, but also not at the same time. It's weird. We'll get into it. Alright, Blizzard Valley. Yes, it's every bit as difficult as it is in Sonic Speed. I'm sorry, there's really not much a better way to go about things. I do believe this is also the same build I used in Sonic Speed. I could be misremembering, but it seems like it to me. So, this is also the build that you might be able to get away with in Sandro. Possibly, maybe. But, yeah, so for those who don't know, you're going to be needing to do a lot of drift control here. And yeah, it sucks because you're in an Excel car and you're handling and drifting is really not great. But, it's pretty much the only way I could find to do it, so yeah, so the first wisp is to cut across those two corners there, and now we're going to take the right path because it's the slower path. You do need every single wisp to get the time for this one. So that way you can take this big cut here, which is the biggest cut in the course. I don't care what anyone says. I know some people claim that doing the two corner cuts at the midpoint there that I just talked about is faster. No, I still stand by that the final grass cut is the quicker shortcut. And it's also why here we can afford to not do it again and save this wisp for later. Which is a much funner turn, much more consistent, much safer. Now here, let go of your momentum as you're going across here, otherwise you will go flying and you won't be able to land on the lower path. Or at least in my experience. So, get the wisp here, make sure you do that, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time later on. And now we have the ammo we need for this final lap, which is the most annoying of the three, believe it or not. So, staying along the inner edge here. We glide across. And now here we do take the cuts. Or at least I try to and fail it miserably, but I do somehow manage to line myself up with the King Wisp perfectly. So I say, you know what, screw it, we're going to do it. We're going to just go for it. And here's where, under any other circumstances, I would have sacrificed the run, but I said, because I accidentally landed on the snow there. But I just kept driving anyway and went, you know what, screw it. Let's keep going. And I know the replay made it look like I used the Royal Whisk to get my momentum back. That is not true. I saved it for the final grass cut.
No time like the present.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that that worked, to be honest with you. Under any other circumstances, I would have restarted the run upon hitting the snow, but I was making good time, and I just said, screw it, I'll finish it out. Anyway, next is my favorite, and, oh, look, that build is way freaking different from before. Yeah, there's a reason for that, and I will explain in just a moment. So the big thing about Radical Highway on Triple S is that this one is designed for you not to maximize your ring count right at the start and then zoom from there. You instead want to grab rings as you go while doing optimal routing. The only exception really being this very first ring from mine. Everything else, yeah, no, you wanna drive as you've already got your maximum rings. So
Let's go!
Grab this here, and now we're just gonna drift along here. Now, if you can get tighter than I did there, even better, but I unfortunately could not. And now here's where that ring panel bounty comes in handy.
Let's go!
Bam, max rings instantly. And now we just need to stick to the normal path. Now, some people have claimed that the left path is actually faster. I don't know if that's true. But I was able to get the S rank without trying it out, so, I mean, I just stuck with the right path like I normally do. Again, maybe less faster, I don't know. But it's also the path with the Wisp, so that's why I stick with it. Grab the Wisp here now. And yes, this little drop down, even if you hit the wall like I always do there, it is ultimately quicker than if you don't. And plus, too, hitting the wall if you've got the boost really isn't that bad anyway, because you just zoom right across, hit the ramp, and you're pretty much good. Because then you can just get that 5 ring. And you might notice this time, if you've watched the Sonic Speed video, that this time I'm actually doing the right path for the ramp onto the shortcut there. It is more dangerous because of how jank the physics in this game can be at times, sure. But it is faster. And so I decided I wanted to show it off. Because, after all, I am the king of Radical Highway, and I need to prove myself when it comes to things like this, you know? One more time for dropping down. Almost lose control there, but we're fine. Don't worry about it. Grab this Wisp here that we've been saving, and we just now try and hug the wall as best as we can. It's kind of tough. Do not do a trick here, otherwise you will fling yourself off because of the physics here. Alright, and now we're set up for the last stretch. Boost across this little way here so we don't lose too much momentum. And now we just have the King Wisp here for this final shortcut. And just like that, I have once again conquered Radical Highway.
No time like the present.
Chao Park threw me for a little bit of a loop. So, okay, Chao Park. This one plays much different for Supersonic Speed than does Sonic Speed. We're using the trick build here. Because you do get a lot of forced airtime on this map. But also the pathing is much different than Sonic Speed. You can't afford to get away with as much as you could there. Now here at the start it might look the same, only we ignored that Wisp right at the start. On Sonic Speed, right path supremacy is a thing. Here, not quite. You want to do left path first, because it actually is faster on lap 1. I don't know if it's because you don't have the max amount of rings or like what, but you do have less airtime, which means that you do go quicker. And plus 2, it gets you a Wisp, so, you know, that's also nice. Now, you also, if your turn drifts are tight enough, you can use the boost Wisp to hop across the corner, do a small little corner cut. But I just kind of say screw it, and I just use it to go through the final straightaway there a little bit quicker. And yeah, I do believe when it comes to that very first wisp, I do think I just ignore for the entire race because I'm very convinced that that thing's a trap just to make you waste time. Anyway, now that we are at max speed, right path is once again fastest. Again, I don't know why. That's just how it turned out in my testing. So, I'm just rolling with it. And yeah, even though I bumped the wall there, that would probably be a run killer in a lot of cases. Surprisingly, it wasn't this time, so I'm sticking with it. Alright, so we are now out of wisps, so what do? Well, there is one more wisp to get, but it's not the king wisp, as some might be thinking. No, that's slow, actually. The last wisp we're going to get is actually kind of annoying to get on supersonic speed, because you need to really maintain your snake drifting there, and it's that one right there in the inner corner. You have no idea how many times I have missed it. So now, when it comes to this water section, you want to spam level 2 boosts. Except for when it comes to that tight bend there. You just want to do it as best you can. Once you land, consume the wisp, speed across to the end.
No time like the present.
Alright, so with that out the way, let's go back to some CrossWorlds. Steampunk City is one of those where I think it's theoretically possible, but holy crap is it hard. So let's go to Dragon Road instead. Once again, trick build. Dragon Road, trick build time because of how much water is in this track. So you get a major boost for that. And outside of that, the pathing's really not different from Sonic Speed. It's just about how good your turning and driving is, really, at the end of the day. And of course, you know, you want to get all these rings as good as you can right at the start. That said, I kind of flub it a little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll salvage it. Don't worry about it. I could have had 100 rings, sure, but you know, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And of course, the best shortcut is still that one, right? But now that we're across, we just want to spam level 2 boosts. Because going for level 3 kills too much time. If you can get the one to the wisp and not hit the one to the wisp. If you can get the wisp off to the left there and not hit the wall on lap 1, yeah, definitely go for it. But I found it's much easier to get on lap 2, so that's why I saved it for that. So now we grab this wisp here. Now it's all about just staying inside as much as possible.
Let's go!
Clean, clean. Do a little level 1 boost to get our momentum going. And also to help avoid the fire. See? Much simpler. Final lap, so now we should be pretty much home free. You just stick with the same plan you've been doing and you're golden. We do not boost across that grass and we do not go for the king list. Those are both traps. Do not worry about those. Just like before, the best shortcut's right here. So now we just gotta make sure we do our tight enough turn here. Line ourselves up and move across, and we should make it.
No time like the present.
All right. Holoska, very fun. And for this one, I decided to see, because I believe in the Sonic Speed, I use starting boost. For this one, I wanted to see if the mini boost would still be viable given how many rings are on Holoska, and it turns out it is. So let's see it in action. Just like with Kraken Bay, this one plays basically exactly the same as Sonic Speed, and as a result, it's also pretty fun to do once you've got the hang of it. So I don't really know how much extra insight I can give for this run, but like I will at least reiterate for the people who maybe did not watch Sonic Speed. So we're definitely doing our best to maintain momentum, of course. I found that the best time to use Wisp is on this ice sled right here. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I feel like you really don't need it for the water section here because you can just keep spamming level 2 and 3 charges, and your momentum will keep you going, especially if you stay on the edge here rather than venturing off onto the dash paths or whatever. Grab the Wisp there. And so we're locked and loaded for lap 2.
Let's go!
Once again, ice sled boost.
Full power!
Alright, but yeah, we're just sticking to fundamentals here. There's really no variance between the 3 laps, really. I have no idea why I gained so much airtime there, to be honest, but hey, it looks cool. But yeah, Holoska really is just a lot of fun with this build. I really couldn't complain. I think this only took me like 2 tries to get to, so that was nice. But now unfortunately we got a Wisp, so we can't go down the ice sled with one. But hey, it's fine. You've got your 100 rings and also these ring lines, so it's not like you're losing a whole lot of speed. I probably could have just spammed level 2s instead of holding on to the level 3, but whatever. It ended up working out in the end, so. But yeah, with that all being said, there's really not much more to expand on Holoska that wasn't already present before, so just have fun, race through it, and you're good.
No time like the present.
Alright, so we're through well, 2/3, I suppose, would be, or 3/5 of the CrossWorlds now. So let's get back to main tracks. These 3 are all annoying, but doable. That's the best way I can sum up Egg Grand Prix in general. They took me many a try, is what I'll say. Color me surprised when it turned out that the trick build works great on Donpa Factory. I was not expecting that, but it definitely was the case, and one of the ways where it surprised me was how important it is actually to the very beginning drop-off right here. Because you can get a level 2 trick off it, and if you don't get a level 2 trick off the very start of it, start the run over. I'm not joking, that time is precious. And for now, we're going to stay on the optimal path. We're going to be ignoring the rings, because weirdly enough, you lose too much time getting them, even though they're needed. Grab the Wisp here. And following the ring lines there is probably pretty optimal, but here, no, we stay on the inner edge to get one more Wisp. We're now at our 100, and we can boost across that cut there, which is the biggest boost on the track. Laps 2 and 3 are going to be much different. Let's go and get those. So, once again, we're full on Wisp. Avoid the paint. And again, just like with Sonic Speed, we're going to save that other Wisp over there for last. Cut across this grass here. And now it's time to go for this shortcut. Be very careful. It sucks to do on Supersonic Speed. Drift across here, do your best not to hit the cars. Even if you do it suboptimally, as long as you don't get nailed, you'll be saving a lot of time by cutting across that grid. And so now with the final lap, do your best to stay on the conveyor here because it's a major speed boost. Grab the Wisp. Use him to cut this grass here. Make sure not to fly by that King Wisp because we do need it. And now here's where I mess up, but I managed to save it. So I land at a suboptimal angle, and the ghost data actually lies to you there. I actually was able to take those level 3 boosts, but I was scared of getting hit by a car, so I went by the outer edge instead. I probably could have cut across and still made it, but oh well.
No time like the present.
Alright, time for water. Oh boy, more tricking. Now, Aqua Forest. During Sonic Speed, I noted that while a lot of people would recommend the trick build that I'm using here, I went with a drift charge build instead and did it just fine. Now, in Supersonic Speed, because your pathing's really not any different from Sonic Speed, well, there's like one minor difference. I do think it is possible to do it with Drift Charge Kit while on Excel Car, but it definitely is easier with the Boost Character Kit or the Trick Build or whatever we're trying to use. We do one hop here to generate more rings. That's actually very important. Believe it or not, using that to get your max rings much sooner, very, very, very important. It's what made the run for me. So keep that in mind. But outside of that, now that we've got our max rings, it's just a normal drive-through on Aqua Forest, really. Do not go drifting around the bend. You will kill some time just driving through that opening part there if you can do it. Yeah, much preferred. And of course, again, never forget like cutting across the little pagoda thingy there, whatever that's called, the awning, or I don't know, arc thing. Much bigger time save than arguing anything else on this course. And of course, staying on the inner wall during the water section, which can be tough, but it is doable. And now for lap 3, we're going to take one very slight detour so we can get a King Wisp. But he's very much worth it. Fly on up here. And now we're just going to race to the end. Just do your best to keep as good a lines as possible. And bam.
No time like the present.
Eggman Expo. Difficult, but doable. So for Eggman Expo, I used the trick build for Sonic Speed as well. But the pathing's a little bit different for Supersonic, and arguably a little bit more annoying. I will try to explain what I mean as we go, so. We're going to ignore that, and fun fact, you can actually go left here, buy those boxes to get an extra 5 rings. Believe it or not, that makes a world of difference. So now follow the ring paths here. Make sure not to fall off there. You absolutely can. Again, we're going to ignore the wisp. Stay on the inner edge. Grab this 10 ring here to get us at max rings, because that's slightly faster than taking the outer ring line. And now get this wisp here. Boost through the gate. And now you want to, if you can, touch that upper boost panel. Or gate or ring, whatever you prefer. But the most important thing there is actually the water tube. Staying on the inner line of the water tube is absolutely vital. Don't do any extra fancy jumps or anything like that. No. Just drive along the inner edge. You save so much more time. So now we can grab this wisp. And we can utilize the other wisps on the map a lot. Grab this one too. And we no longer have to boost, air drift across the plane section because we can just move across now. Much preferred, in my opinion. But yeah, just doing this and like staying on the inner course, even if you don't do it the absolute best, although you do absolutely want to if you can, saves way more time than trying to spam jumps and like stay the course there. And also on supersonic speed, you are actually fast enough to outrun the Egg Dragoon, unlike in Sonic Speed, so definitely take advantage of that dash panel. Nice little boost of speed there. Stay along the inner wall.
Let's go!
We do not have a list this time, unfortunately, so we do have to air drift across. One level 2 boost should be fine. Go for 2 if you're feeling like it, but I don't really think it's necessary. Now, yeah, again, just stay on the inner bit as much as you can. Like there, I did it very good. Be sure to grab the King Wisp, and then just boost your way on to victory.
Finish! You're getting a promotion. No time like the present.
Alright, so now we're on to our last Grand Prix for now, which is the Secret Grand Prix, and we've only got 2 of them. I'm still trying to figure out white space. So, anyone remember what the most free time trial in this game is? That hasn't changed. Kronos Island is every bit as free on supersonic speed as it is on sonic speed. It's like very slightly tougher to do. But you've otherwise got it down with whatever you usually do for sonic speed. So, the only real difference is that, unlike in Sonic Speed, Supersonic Speed, you're kind of required to get every wisp. You can maybe skip, like, 1. Whereas in Sonic Speed, you can get away with getting, like, maybe only, like, half of them. And you'll still get the S rank. But, otherwise, Kronos Island is still far and away the easiest S rank in the whole game. And I have to wonder if they did that on purpose, like, as an incentive to get people to try and do more S ranks, maybe? I don't know. That said, though, I'm glad they did. I don't want this course to be super annoying to do. The easier to get these S ranks, the better, in my book. I know some people might disagree with me on that one, but it is what it is. So, we're still able to make the ramp, which is fine, so we can get that level 2 trick off. No worries. And as you might have already seen, for those who don't know, there's really only 2 cuts in this course, which is right here, and then the major shortcut at the end. Anyway, now that we've got max range, you can stay on the inner wall there, but I just kind of didn't, because I was already doing the boost panel path, so I just said, screw it, I'll stick with it. We can now grab this wisp here. And I do decide to save that for the very end, okay. And then you just boost across here. So much time saved when you do that. It's incredible. We now want the King Wisp over here. It's a little tight to get on supersonic speed, but it's nothing, like, impossible. But yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have gotten the that other Wisp first and then gotten the King Wisp. So that way I could reverse the order that we use, because that's probably more optimal. But whatever, it's Kronos Island. You don't really need to stress that much about it unless you're going for like a top 100 or something. Which I am not. I am just here to prove that doing these with Excel cars is possible. And I totally forgot to get that final Wisp, which you ideally want to do, but whatever. I was making such good time, I could make it anyway.
No time like the present.
Alright. Last for the main courses is Northstar Islands. Same build as Sonic Speed, same general pathing, it's just a lot tighter. So just like with Sonic Speed in Northstar, you're going to want to be using level 3 boosts as much as possible. And unfortunately, the buff that this course got in terms of item boxes did not apply to time trial, so we can't rely on that here. You're of course going to want to stay on this inner edge, much faster than going along the outer edge, even if you are wanting to grab rings. And boosting across here with off-road bounty gets you so many rings. You actually can max out there if you do it at the optimal angle. I just didn't. But if you can't, don't stress. There's that little ring line right there, which doesn't kill that much time to go up going yet, so you're chilling. I now go over here, grab this, and we boost across this other bit of sand. So far, pretty much the same. And I do believe it is, for the most part, compared to Sonic Speed. I think there's only like one very minor difference, which I will note later. But for now, once again, boosting across the rough. And now, because we don't need the rings, we can stay on the inner wall. This time we're going to go outer, so we can grab the wisp on the left wall. Just barely managed to nab it, but hey, I count it. Final lap. Now here's what surprised me. These crabs are suddenly much different in their positioning, so you need to be slightly outward to avoid them, rather than hugging the left like normal. So now we're gonna grab this wisp here so we can take the new shortcut that just opened up. And this should line you right up with the crystal box so you can grab the king wisp, which you will need for the sand pit at the end.
Let's go!
Thankfully, even though I did take a bit of damage there, you're boosting so much during that last stretch, it really doesn't kill your momentum all that much. And plus 2, you'll get rings soon enough anyway.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, so with that, we are on our last stretch of CrossWorlds here. Galactic Parade. Same build as Sonic Speed. Galactic Parade's another one of those courses where once you've kind of got an understanding of how it works, it's really not that bad. And it can actually be kind of fun. Supersonic Speed is the same as Sonic. Your pathing, the way you're going to use your wisps, all that stuff, it's all the same, pretty much. So again, it's just going to kind of be a play-by-play for those who don't know. So right now we're following these, and you want to boost across this. That little area with the boxes there, a very big cut. And now we're going to focus on ring gain. So here's something about these drones. They will always shoot in a straight line except for when you're on the bend, which is coming up. If the left one had fired, it would have done a diagonal shot, and that can really screw you up. So the other place to boost is here with the plane section, and we're going to take a little detour to get an extra wisp. Very much worth it, trust me. But yeah, just like before, turn in here, boost across so we can break through the boxes. Now we'll pick this wisp up, and it's just, it's about good driving from here on out, pretty much. Yeah, like, I believe right here you're gonna, oh no. I guess I outsped it this time. But yeah, when you're in a normal race, just keep in mind that if they start to shoot while you're on the bend, yeah, they're gonna shoot diagonal. So now here, this one's a little tricky because you're going so much faster. Royal Wisp, go across here. It's fine. Even if you bump a wall like I did, you won't lose that much time, thankfully. And now it's just one final showdown with the robots. And with that, we are home free. You can just drive to the end.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, Sweet Mountain. Return of the Trick build. This one also surprised me. But hey, it works. Although I guess it really shouldn't have surprised me because of all the water on the map. But whatever. Anyway. Sweet Mountain. It might take a little bit of practice, but I really don't think it's that bad. Like, I have read some people having trouble with it. Me personally, I just kind of felt it was average in terms of difficulty. Like, it took me a couple tries, but, like, that's about it. Because we got the trick build. So we're generating rings as much as we can, following these ring lines, and also, of course, you know, getting momentum on these water sections. And you definitely want to hang left and take that short route by any means necessary. If you miss it even once, start over. So yeah, we've got our max rings now. Grab this wisp here so we can take the shortcut. And now we go in the middle way there, not only so we can hit the boost pad, but also proc ring game boost at the same time. Nice little trick for you guys, man. We're still gonna hang to the left here. Second verse, same as the first, pretty much, you know. Cut across the goop and take that middle boost.
Final lap!
Yeah, I think what this one was is I wanted to show off getting the left path 3 different ways. I don't know if I was very successful with that or not, but hey, you know, I did it. So, but yeah, now it's just one last corner cut and we're golden.
Let's go!
And of course, you know, watch out for the candy balls flying at you. They might be able to surprise you.
Finish! No time like the present.
All right, we're on our last ones. Digital Circuit's also one of those ones where I think it is possible. It's just really hard. So I've been kind of stonewalled by that one. But anyway, White Cave. Oh boy. This one's every bit as challenging on Supersonic as it is on Sonic Speed. I'll just be straight up with you on that one, so you know what to expect. Same strat, much harder execution, at least in my opinion, when it comes to White Cave, when comparing the two modes. Supersonic Speed, way more difficult than Sonic Speed, because of how much quicker you're going. So getting on the correct pathing, much harder. Although that said, there was one little bit in this that did surprise me, and I will be sure to highlight that when we get there. But anyway, your general strategy is basically the same as Sonic Speed, so you're going to want to, you know, get max rings as quick as possible, which by the time you're out of this tunnel you should have. And then of course, nailing this shortcut. Absolutely vital. I'm not gonna lie to you, it is very hard. It's gonna take some practice. But you need to be able to do it. Otherwise you're not getting that S. So you might have seen that we didn't use the Wisp there. That's because we're going so much faster that using it during that final bend really doesn't make any sense. And as you can see, I missed the boost there. Instead, I found that it's much more useful to use the Wisp here while you're in the tunnel. And it's also a lot safer, too. So, maybe it's better to do it that way on Sonic Speed as well. I don't know. But, yeah, on Supersonic Speed, doing it on, like, flat land is definitely much better than on a land full of bumps. Like how that last vine stretches. And as you can see, my Ghost Data has officially, like, given up. It has no idea what the heck. I assure you that I'm tricking. I assure you. But once again, we miss the Wisp, and I go for a risky play here. I go for the Royal Wisp, and I'm bumping into stuff. But I do burn the Royal Wisp here on the tunnel, and I think what it is that the boost you get from that made up for the mistakes I was making, even if only barely. And as such, I'm still able to take it on home here for the final bit. And you know what? It might have been a sloppy finish, but hey, a win's a win.
No time like the present.
Alright, final bit, Cyberspace, my favorite CrossWorld. And once again, you're going to use the trick build. Unfortunately, with Cyberspace, you know, you do got to use the trick build, or at least it's the only strategy I found that'll get you the time. But regardless, this is still a fun track, and it's just a shame you have to be so specific for an S rank. But I guess it does make sense because, like, look at this right here, right? That's just generating a ton of rings for free right at the start. But otherwise, the way you play this one is pretty much the same as Sonic Speed. I don't recall there being any major differences. But yeah, fly in, grab that Wisp there so it doesn't disappear later. And where exactly do I... Oh, yep, I wait for the cars. Okay. Grab this one too, because it's going to cost us a bump, so we don't got to worry about it anymore. And then we just boost across the straightaway here. And free tip to make this slightly easier on yourself, go with the flow of traffic. So like there you saw I went to the right path because all of the trucks were driving forward. So that way it was less of a chance of me running into one of them. So just like in real life, you know, don't go against traffic. Otherwise, we just stay the course just as we did on Sonic Speed, you know. Get your boost gates, don't bump into any obstacles, and using a Wisp for this bend here, pretty beneficial actually. You can power through the cones that way. And of course, you know, also using them here on the straightaway for a nice boon. So yeah, lap 3. Outside of one very tiny deviation, not anything different. We can now finally get this S. I kind of mess up the shortcut there, but it's not that big a deal. Grab the last Wisp we've been saving, and then we just dip down slightly instead of taking the dash gate, so that way we can get the Royal Wisp. This way we can power through the shortcut here, even though the Ghost Data doesn't want you to see that, apparently. And now we just line ourselves up just right, and we burn the King Wisp, which the Ghost Data doesn't register, so it looks like I'm just driving, but hey, we make it.
No time like the present.
And that was all of the S ranks in Supersonic Speed I have so far. Again, there will be another video where I do an update on what strats I find for other ones that I find that are in fact possible. And if I end up deeming any of these impossible, I'll be sure to let you know. But again, if any of you out there are fellow Excel car enthusiasts and you found strats that work for the tracks that I did not cover in this video, please, by all means, let me know. And if I end up using them, I will give you credit in that future video. So, with that said, I guess we just wait to see what this next big update gives us. Hopefully Excel cars will get a nice buff. And if not, I guess I gotta get used to driving in Radical Forest. I don't know, man. But until next time, guys, I hope you found this guide useful. If you have any critiques or comments or tips or whatever you want to call it, by all means, please do post in the comments and let me know. Just, you know, please be respectful. And with that said, until next time, guys, this has been DreamSword, your big silver fan and Excel car enthusiast, signing out. Take care.